Hi, this is lesson 1-3, adding integers. You should be in your workbook on pages 22 to 24. All right, this is page 22. This is example 1. And it says Nita wants to straighten a photo. She uses an app to adjust the tilt. What was the total tilt adjustment? So if I look at this, it says that she adjusted it by 4 degrees and she adjusted it by another -6 degrees. So I think we're taking -4 plus -6. And there's a couple ways to think about this. So we could draw a number line. We could put home base. I'm going to put home base down here because I know I'm going to be going in the negative direction. And I can start with -4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the negative direction. And then continue in the negative direction 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just have to figure out where that is. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10. I think this equals -10. So option 1 is to use a number line. Option 2, you can think of it as I have 4 negatives, and I'm going to add 6 negatives, which will give me a total of 10 negatives. Option 3 is the one that your book is showing you on page 22, where you're going to find the absolute value of both of those numbers. So -4 is 4 spaces from 0. -6 is 6 spaces from 0. So 4 plus 6 is 10. They're both negative. Add a negative sign. I'm going to tell you that we are going to work on the number line version for the most part. All right, here's our example 1. Try it. It's at the bottom of your page 22. So it's really important that you copy what I've got going on my screen. All right, so it says that Dana recorded a temperature drop of 2 degrees and means we're going to add a second temperature drop of 3 degrees. What is the total change in temperature? I want you to fill in the first drop, the second drop, and see if you can come up with the answer. Fill it in there. Fill it in there. I want you to pause the video until you have an answer and then come back and check with me. All right, so if we have a temperature drop of 2, that's a -2, and a drop of 3 is a -3, I can think of it as a couple of different things. Here's my number line. I know they're both negative, so I'm going to put my 0 over here. And my first one, a drop of 2 degrees, 1, 2 in the negative direction. Added to that, we need 3 more degrees down. So I think our answer is -5. So that's using the number line. You could just use common sense and say 2 negatives plus 3 more negatives is 5 negatives. So the sum of our answer is negative. Ooh, I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to put an abbreviation. And the total change of temperature is it went down, so it's -5 degrees. All right, if you don't have those answers, I want you to erase and fix your paper so you match me. We are now at the top of your workbook, page 23. Example 2 says, Kara entered her chili recipe into the neighborhood cook-off. 9 judges rated each recipe with either a thumbs up, which is a positive one, or a thumbs down, which is a negative one. What was the final rating for Kara's recipe? All right, well, let's find some information here. It looks like she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thumbs down, and she had 1, 2, 3, 4 thumbs up, and I want a combination of those. So I'm going to use a number line. I'm going to put 0 in the middle this time because I know I'm going both up and down my number line. So just give me a second to fill this in. You should be doing it in your workbook as well. You can pause me if you need to. All right, so let's start with the bad thumbs down. So we start at home base, and we're going to go back 5 thumbs down. But then she got 4 thumbs up, so we're going to start where we ended, and we're going to go back up 1, 2, 3, 4. Her combined total was -1. She had one more negative than positive review. All right, we're still on page 23, example 3. Playing golf, Mike got a +2 on the first hole and a -2 on the second hole. What is his combined score for the first 2 holes? So I know combined, let me pick a color here. I know combined means we're going to add, so here's our problem. And I sort of feel like we don't need any of that. Your book really likes to talk about absolute values and using those to find your answer. We're leaning more towards using a number line, but even beyond that, I know those are opposites. They're additive inverses, and I don't have to do anything with that but think about the definition. If I have 2 opposite numbers, additive inverses, and I add them together, I'll get 0. So don't work harder than you have to. Okay, you are on page 23 at the bottom. No calculators are allowed, so we're going to use our common sense and maybe a number line or 2. All right, let's hold on A for just a second. I don't like that as a starting spot. I like to start on B. I think those are additive inverses, so you can go ahead and use common sense to figure that one out. When you're done with B, I want you to try C and then A. So pause the video while you work on those and then come back when you're ready to check with me. All right, so B, we've got some additive inverses here. Opposites always add to make 0. Easy peasy, don't work harder than you have to. Then I asked you to do C. I'm not drawing all those numbers. I know I have to go blah, 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 up to 29. So I'm going up to 29. And then I know I'm going to back it up 28 of those. So common sense means if I had 29 and I back it up by 28, I should have 1 left over. All right, now let's think about A for a minute. Here's my number line. I'm not drawing out all of those because I'm going to just think about it here for a second. I know 0 is going to be here, and I know -66 is somewhere here. If I go all the way back to 66, and then I turn around and I go forward 42 of them, I don't know, I'm going to say it's about right there, 42 of them. Isn't this just the difference between those 2 numbers? So if I took 66 and I took off 42 of them, I think I have 24 left. And my last thing I have to decide, is my 24 on the negative side of the number line or is it on the positive side? Well, all of this is the negative realm because it is less than 0. So my answer is -24. All right, go ahead and turn to page 24. There you are going to see your key concept summary. I want you on page 24 to try number 4, 5, and 6. I want you to have something there. I didn't say it had to be absolutely correct. I said I want you to try 4, 5, and 6, and we will start there tomorrow. Keep in mind, you cannot use a calculator.